Is that wobbly? Oh, well, yeah, you're right. The back is
There's
not.
No back on
there's no back on it. It is silly. Well, let's do this. Hey guys, welcome back to AC Auto Carts. Now I'm just making a mess. Was very curious as to how this motor was put on this rear axle, and I have been hammering on it. I've got every bolt out of it, and it finally just kind of fell apart. So I'll get you guys closer in on that. It was a lot of water. When I first popped the cover here, a lot of water poured out of that. I am in the middle of about 17 different little projects when it comes to our rat rod build. It is completely, all the axles and stuff are off of this, obviously, at this point. I've got it on a little roller. I did put the steering column on last week so I could do a little quick video for Roy Cow on this steering wheel that we're going to use on it. And I'll just kind of give you an update as to where we are and where I'm at with all of this. I really have no consistency. I've been jumping around a lot, which doesn't make for very good YouTube content, but I'll show you where we're at and where we're on the way to, and follow along. Please like and subscribe. All right, here's the top. There are 3 screws that held this top on. Right here, well, I guess 5. Not exactly sure where these 2 go. I guess they would be up here. Oh, here's where they broke off. So I suppose that's what's holding the bottom on, because the bottoms, there's 2 screws here. Those also broke off. So this bottom casing is not coming off without getting those 4 out. So I don't really know how you would reassemble this, but this fell right out once I turned it upside down. But yeah, obviously there's been water in this motor. This motor's pretty, pretty smoked. This thing isn't doing anything. All of this fell right out of it, all this garbage. So I do have these out. I thought that that's what was kind of holding it on. But I got to be honest, I'm not really sure. There's the hole from that bottom. So that was the 1 bolt that came out. Let me get some light down in there. There we go. Look at that. So I'm not exactly sure what that was even attached to then. So the wetness in there, I have some penetrant down in there. We'll crack those bolts off and see if we can get the whole motor off of this housing. 9/16 bolts down here. Don't snap them. Watch, this whole thing is just going to fall off on me. Maybe I should use the impact. Well, I'm going to set it down so I have a little more leverage. This is the fun part. Ooh, cracked pretty easy. Cool. Last one, don't break. Nice. All right, still not popping. Come on. Finally. Okay. Now this is attached anymore to the housing. Unless this is. No. I guess those outer bolts just went into this. These ones. There were 4 bolts that I took off. Oh, it's one for each. Never mind. So there was no getting this housing off without taking it apart, I guess? Because here's those 2 bolts that weren't attached to anything right in there. I thought that if you got these 2, maybe the rest of this would come off, but it appears you have to take this entire motor apart to get this off and then rebuild it from there. So then that goes back in here. Here's what the underside of this guy looked like now. I took these apart just out of frustration, so I suppose you'd build this. These all sit here in the slots. Oh, look at that. Obviously, I've never had one of these electric motors apart. So here is where the other 3 bolts, I thought that maybe these 3 bolts in here, this hole hit these 3. So obviously those come through here. I'll show you where those mounted. So here's this thing, right? This was just spinning in there. There's a bearing here. But these come through here. This bearing sat inside of there. Man, once this moved though, I was wondering why I couldn't rethread these, and that would be why. So there's that. Now what do I do with all this? If you guys think this is rebuildable, drop me a note in the comments. What do I just throw this in the garbage, or I don't need any money or anything for it, but like I hate to throw things away. It's good. It'll be good for scrap, I suppose. It's pretty damn heavy. All right, so then that was in there like that. This goes in like that, and then this was on top of that. There we go. Okay, it's back together. I guess that's where the water got in. You can see through to the bottom there. It's not completely closed off. So it kind of looks like a little bit of a failure. There's no gasket here. Oh wait, is there? Oh, there is a gasket. Yeah, but I guess that's where the water got in as it sat. This is the bottom side. I haven't taken the springs off. I did try. I want to potentially leave this alone so I can stick it back underneath that other cart so I can roll it. But I think that's it for this thing for now. I'm done messing with it. Well, that's boxed up, but I'll just leave this here for now. I don't know.
They're all going underneath your legs.
It's on there.
You hear
Not really good jeans.
That's it.
Air shocks are in. Look at that. Oh. Actually didn't hit any of the steering either. Let's do it again. Ooh. All right, that's where you're gonna start hitting. That's too high. I wonder how much pressure that is. Let's see. 32. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Well, front end might work out. Well, it worked. And I ran it up and down, and it looks like the steering arms, I'm even going to be able to leave those alone. I thought I was going to have to move it from maybe that pivot point, but there should be plenty of room. The only problem is back here, that bolt, the one that's back there, if I leave that with a bolt on it, it doesn't drop enough. So we will have to change these to more of a control arm, an arm with a pivot point right there at the front. So that'll be in the future, but I really was jonesing to see if it was going to do what I wanted it to do, which it pretty much just did. So I have some more gussets I'm going to put on the shock mount that we just welded on. I've got to cut a little bit of this off. I'm not going to leave it all messy looking like that. The ones that are here, they're just in the factory locations. So that's it for this. So this is the factory shock mount that I cut off. So that was like this, right? So we just cut that off and moved it down. And the reason I welded it on with the shock mounted to it is just because I wanted the right angle. So I'll cut all this off, and I know that looks really messy. We'll clean that up too when I have this off. This really wasn't the ideal space to do this with. So I'll be breaking all of this down momentarily. I had it apart recently where I had a lot of these pieces off. I started trying to get the grease off and so forth because I would like to make it look like it's at least been apart and cleaned. I do have some of these guys ordered. They're just full, they're packed full, and they probably would clean up, but I'm going to put some new grease fittings on, all of the different grease fittings, and there's like 15 of them in here. Not that many, but there's enough. So front end is kind of getting there, other than now we've got to deal with back there. But I mean, hopefully I don't mess it up so we start hitting that steering arm. I can't believe that worked out, the steering arms. I mean, when it's lower, if that's touching the grass, who cares? There's plenty of room. And no, it's not tight. All right, everybody, playtime is over for me today. Thank you for checking out our video. Hey, shout out to Ryan Fenters from the Fentertainment YouTube channel. He suggested that maybe we take apart that rear end. People might find that interesting. So if you're checking it out for that reason, hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to end today's video with the one that I sent to Roy Cow for their steering wheel, just so you can see it for fun. They actually have it on the listing, on the Amazon listing. So I kind of personally find that exciting. And yeah, hope you like it, subscribe, follow along with the rest of this here build. So I couldn't help it today. I had the garage empty. Let's see if we can try and weld, and it seems to have worked out okay. So check in with us again very shortly. I'll be continuing to work on this, and we'll get you another update very soon. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, I've been working on my 83 EZGO golf cart. I've been putting some new components onto the steering, and the last thing to do is this steering wheel. I'm doing a rat rod themed golf cart here. I wanted to do a steering wheel with some wood grain on it. So Roycal sent me their new wood grain steering wheel. It's not gold, it's actually got some wood patterns in it. So we're gonna go ahead and replace this old, faded, cracking steering wheel, and we'll show you how that's done. The other thing you're gonna need that Roycal sent, I asked them for their chrome hub adapter. So we have one of those as well. Chrome looks good. It comes with an Allen tool that you'll need to set the wheel on it. So we'll be putting this on as well. In this application, there's 2 screws that hold the front cover on. Remove these 2 screws, and this front cover to the steering wheel will pop off. This is really the hardest part of this job. You're going to get this lug nut or this nut off. I did use an impact to get it off. I did make sure that I could get this wheel off, and what you're going to want to do is shake it back and forth and it should pop. But if they've been on there a while, it'll be difficult to get it off of the steering shaft. I went ahead and looked at the chrome adapter, right? It's really pretty. It's gonna look nice on this cart. I've got a couple other chrome pieces that we're gonna use. But what I did was, you'll see I marked some of the holes that coincide with the bolts on the steering wheel. And what you'll wanna do is set those straight, because there are different applications here. For this one, I'm gonna consider these 2 that were closest together at the top. So we'll just slide, I have the wheel set as straight as possible. And what we'll do is we'll set that on with that indicator straight up and just push down. We'll reinsert this nut. Make sure it's threaded properly, and I'm gonna jam it down with an impact gun. On the steering wheel, we'll just need to remove this rubber gasket that holds in the screws. Oh, I just lost one. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that, and we'll place it right down, tighten these 3 threads up.